This morning, we begin in Syria, where the country has awoken to a major power shift and an uncertain future. Rebels seized the capital of Damascus in a lightning offensive over the weekend, toppling the Bashar al-Assad regime after more than 50 years in power. President Biden has welcomed the downfall of Syria's leader with cautious optimism.
The fall of the regime is a fundamental act of justice. It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty.
After nearly 14 years of civil war, the Assad regime came crumbling down in a matter of days. Here's how things unfolded. On November 27th, armed opposition groups began their offensive against Syrian government forces in the northwest of the country. And just 3 days later, rebels claimed they'd taken control of Aleppo. They then pushed southward, taking the city of Hama on December 5th. Then on Saturday, the rebels took the city of Homs after government forces abandoned it and said they had encircled the city of Damascus. And just yesterday, the Assad regime collapsed, with rebels taking Damascus. Russian media reports that President Bashar al-Assad fled to Moscow. Following all the latest developments for us, the CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab. Imtiaz, this is stunning. We had all those years of civil war. How did the rebels achieve this?
You know, Errol, I've been trying to digest that question and the answer to that question really since this extraordinary lightning fast offensive across Syria, a country where many had thought the civil war and the lines of that civil war had been frozen for years. And then we saw what many had thought was the unthinkable: the fall of Damascus, the capital of Syria, and Bashar al-Assad leaving the country. A man whose family has ruled Syria with an iron fist for 54 years. His father, Hayat al-Assad, of course, a leader as well. And to answer your question, how this all came crashing down, well, there's a few ways to look at it. 10 years ago, when the Syrian war was at its peak and it looked like Assad was going to fall then, something major happened. Russia entered the fold to support Assad. He was already getting support from Iran, already getting support from Hezbollah, which is an Iranian-backed militia inside of Lebanon. And all these forces coalesced, and they managed to push the resistance, which was multi-fractured and multi-layered, from Islamists to secular, you name it, all into northwest Syria, which is where they've been since 2017. Again, many had thought this war had been frozen. But since 2017, a lot has happened in Syria when world attention drifted away to other conflicts like Ukraine and Gaza, you name it. That the Syrian government under Bashar al-Assad, rather than reach out to partners around the world and to make friends with his Arab neighbors, rather than reach out to the various factions and sects inside of his country where he had won the peace but not really the love of the people, rather than doing any of that, he stayed in Damascus, and everything started to fall apart around him, started to decay, including his military. And so when these rebels, sensing that they had a moment because of what happened in Lebanon with the leadership of Hezbollah being decapitated, with Iran on the ropes because of its own fight with Israel, and of course with Russia, now embroiled in Ukraine, they seized this moment, and the Syrian army, which has proven for so long to be so effective, was a paper tiger. It just collapsed because of years of neglect, corruption, and soldiers who were forced to fight for Bashar al-Assad, a man they had no love with. It was a perfect storm that was seized by these rebels, and that has now brought us to today. Today, of course, many Syrians are celebrating, but many more are concerned about what's to come.
We'll continue to watch your reporting closely. Imtiaz Tyab, thank you.